Michigan Avenue. This is Good Day Chicago.
Hey, welcome to Good Day Chicago. Tia and Natalie with you here on this Monday morning. Hopefully it's off to a good start.
Yes, hopefully it is. We have a lot of headlines that we need to get to this morning.
And we start with the Chicago parking meter deal. It is on the city council agenda once again today. Will they work out details with the sale of this parking meter system to yet another entity? Brittany Toulis, Saquon is live on that story. She's going to break down other things on the city council agenda as well today.
Yeah, we're also learning more about Senator Lindsey Graham and his death at the age of 71. This is a story that, of course, we will continue to follow for you throughout the morning as well.
And Father Michael Pfleger. Really some shocking news again over the weekend, facing sexual abuse allegations. The St. Sabina priest was put on leave by the Chicago Archdiocese, and so he missed Mass on Sunday because of that. He denies the allegation. That's important to note. He says he is not backing down from this fight. We're going to have more details on that in just a moment.
Yeah, there's a meeting today as well to determine what are the next steps in that investigation. Of course, we'll bring you the very latest on that. But we want to get to a disturbing story this morning, heartbreaking at the same time as well. We know a body was found. This was inside of a garbage can in the back of the Yards neighborhood.
Brittany Toulis has been reporting on this investigation this morning. And Brittany, where does the investigation stand, and has that woman been identified?
Hey guys, not by investigators yet. Investigators not sharing a lot of information, but an autopsy is pending. That'll tell investigators how this woman died and if anyone else was involved. Now, there is a state lawmaker, though, who does know this woman and is sharing her identity. There's a graphic video circulating online of this woman's remains. That lawmaker pleading with people to stop sharing it and do whatever they can to get that video taken down. Now, this woman's remains were found Saturday evening in a garbage can around 6:30. Now, this is in the back of the Yards neighborhood near 54th and Emerald. Right now, who she is and how she died is unknown, according to investigators. Chicago police and the Cook County Medical Examiner hoping to answer those questions. An autopsy is planned. Once that happens, investigators will learn how she died and if anyone else was involved. Now, State Senator Lakeisha Collins is sharing the woman's identity, saying her name is Zenobia Witherspoon, or Z. Senator Collins saying Z even babysat her kids. The senator also bringing up a graphic video circulating of Z's remains being found, saying, quote, "In this moment of profound grief, I am pleading with the public to stop sharing the video of Zenobia on social media. Please show respect and compassion for her family while they navigate this unimaginable pain. If you see the video, please report it and take it down. No family should have to witness their loved one's final moments circulated online." She also says Zenobia's death highlights a terrifying and rapidly rising crisis, the escalating number of missing and murdered women, not just in Chicago, but across the state of Illinois and our nation. That statement ending with her calling for the creation of an alert system for vulnerable women or domestic violence survivors, akin to an Amber Alert or a Silver Alert system. Now, right now, Chicago police are also investigating this as a death investigation, but guys, that could also change once these autopsy results come in.
Well, Brittany, of course, we'll be looking forward to more information as it becomes available. And again, hopefully people stop sharing that video. Should have never been posted in the first place. Can you imagine being family and seeing something like that on social media? It's just horrible.
It is. I don't know what the motivation would be to share something like that. It's just awful, as you said, Tia. Well, we want to turn it over to Caitlin Cody. She's joining us now with a check of the forecast, and I hear it's going to heat up again in a big way.
This whole week's going to be hot and sunny. So very summer-like. I know a lot of us, which I've talked to folks. Summer feels like it's slipping between our fingers. We're not going to feel that way this week. This week, we are pushing into the 90s, even the upper 90s expected over the next couple of days. Right now, though, we do have a few clouds out there. It's 78 degrees, so it's comfortable. Feels like 81. It's not going to be too incredibly muggy. Dew points in the mid-60s right now. A west breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and you can still see some blue sky out there. Again, just fair weather clouds. Satellite radar showing the cloud cover, as mentioned, moving into Chicago. But today, we are going to be dominated by sunshine, and these temperatures will be climbing fast. It's 80 degrees at the lakefront right now, 76 in Aurora, 75 in Morris, and 77 at LaSalle. Northwest Indiana, temperatures for you are in the mid to upper 70s. Here's your day planner, 90 by lunchtime. So again, we are cranking up that dial fast today. 2 p.m., 93. If you have to get outside, you should probably do it right now. But if you're going to the beach, it is going to be a lovely stretch. 3-day forecast. Notice we've got sunny skies and no rain. Tuesday, a high of 97, but tomorrow it could feel like we're closer to about 100. 96 on Wednesday. We are going to remain in the 90s as mentioned through this week. This weekend, slight reprieve from the heat. I'll show you that on your 7-day forecast ahead. Back to you.
All right, it's feeling like summertime right outside, and hopefully they get their act together in time for the summer. I'm talking about Chicago Public Schools. They say that they're actually committed to improving outcomes for black students. They actually have a plan for this, but so far it's hit a lot of delays.
And so there's kind of a little controversy surrounding this, right? Because the Trump administration, a group filed a lawsuit against this in support of Latino students, actually saying, you know, when 46% of the district is composed of Latino students, why are we focusing on black students in particular with the Success Plan? And so the Trump administration has withheld federal funding from Chicago Public Schools because of this.
Right.
We want to check in now with Chalkbeat reporter Mila Kupalova to talk a little bit about this. You recently put together an article, and what is the concern now from parents and advocates of this plan who say it's not happening fast enough?
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I think the main concern so far has been around the formation of this Black Student Achievement oversee the implementation of the plan. It's a new school board committee, but it's taken a while to name its members, and that finally happened with some of the names last week. It was a partial list that the school board announced at its meeting last week.
Tell us what the plan is designed to do. I know, as Natalie mentioned, there's been some controversy, but I'm guessing there's a reason for this plan, hopefully, to be rolled out. Tell us what the plan is designed to do in benefit of the students.
Right. The plan really zooms in on the fact that Black students in Chicago have consistently faced disparities in their academic outcomes and a wide range of outcomes. And so it's ultimately designed to improve their experience and outcomes. It sets several really sweeping goals to increase the number of Black educators, to reduce discipline for Black students. But it doesn't go into a lot of detail about how the district will accomplish that. So what's happening right now is, I think, officials trying to figure out how they actually get there.
So the first step of this was announced in 2025, so it's a fairly new blueprint.
Right.
And the first step of this, as you said, was getting this commission together of stakeholders. And there's been a delay in announcing who those commission members would be. Do you think the delay is because of this being embroiled with the Trump administration and maybe the district not wanting to ruffle any feathers and making sure they get the grant money that they believe is due to them before they move forward maybe with this?
You know, it has been hard to say how much of the delay in launching the committee has had to do with the Trump administration's pushback. The district is now in court suing over the withholding of those dollars. And so this is playing out now in the courts. But there also were, it seems like, some internal process issues with this application process for the committee. And so it seems like it perhaps is a combination of things going on.
I know you kind of mentioned there earlier about transparency and specifics and people wanting to know more. Exactly what are people asking for? Are they asking for, like Natalie mentioned, the blueprint? Are they asking for the blueprint of what this plan will look like?
Yeah, I think community advocates are really eager to see more specifics on how the district will tackle the goals of the plan. I had a chance to speak with Eugene Robinson Jr., the district's point person for the plan last week. He said that the district and various central offices have been setting up the groundwork to really attack the plan in earnest in the coming months and years. He talked about getting a grant to help with some of the work around Black student unions and hiring more male Black educators, two of the goals of the plan.
Mila, what are parents saying? And I know that you spoke to one parent, and I'll just kind of share this because I think this is important. She's concerned about making sure that there are schools that focus on, CPS schools that focus on science, technology, engineering, and math in areas where the student population is predominantly Black, because she was sharing her experience with, having to drive her child to the north side of Chicago just so she can attend one of those schools. So is that more of what you're hearing? Let's make sure we have more of those specialized schools in neighborhoods where children can attend them.
Yeah, I think that has been a theme in speaking with parents, the sense that, especially as many schools on the south and west side have lost enrollment, that they have also kind of lost programs and a richness of courses, and parents feel they need to look for schools with more robust programming elsewhere. And yes, a lot of eagerness to see more details from the district on how this will actually play out on the ground in schools and how it will be felt by students in the coming years.
Now, we know in a statement, CPS said it was making headway on this initiative because they recently got a $250,000 grant from a Chicago-based foundation. Do you know, like, a timeline on this? Like, when does this have to be signed, sealed, and delivered? Did they have a timeline for this to roll out?
Well, what officials have said, and they haven't been speaking a lot publicly about the implementation so far, but they would remind you that this is a 5-year initiative, and it makes sense for this first year to be a lot of still talking to people about how they see this playing out and setting groundwork internally. I know that some of the work specifically through this grant from a Chicago area foundation that hasn't been named is supposed to happen this coming year, including a big conference at City Colleges of Chicago for Black student unions at high schools in Chicago public schools.
All right, Mila, thank you so much for your time in breaking this down. It is a complicated issue, and we appreciate you trying to get to the bottom of it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Stay with us right here on Good Day Chicago. We'll have much more when we come back.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. We're so glad you're with us on this Monday morning. Did you have a good weekend, Tia?
I did, but it is really feeling like a Monday so far. I'm just being honest.
Everyone has said that today, including myself.
Man, even a prompter is like taking a day off.
The prompter's taking the day. Sweet Liz, our co-anchor in the morning show, came in with one contact.
I know, I had a courier to bring the other. So,
anyway,
yeah, good for her.
She got it all taken care of. I don't know how she saw. Okay, so we're talking about Chicago City Council. They are meeting again today, and they have a very busy day.
They do. A lot on the docket today. The Committee on Finance has a full agenda this morning. Several TIF ordinances are going to be considered. We have Saquon, who's live right outside of City Hall with the very latest on this. Say.
Hey, ladies, good morning to you. The city's finance committee is going to be here at City Hall in a little less than an hour here, and they are about to take up a pretty packed agenda here, including a pretty big project that focuses on a development in town, and it's already drawing some pretty big pushback from community groups. We're talking about the 78 development along the south branch of the Chicago River. After years of delays, the 62-acre project is moving forward with the Chicago Fire's new stadium expected to kind of help drive that development. Alders are going to consider 2 TIF agreements totaling more than $424 million. Now, that money would not fund the stadium itself, since the stadium would be privately funded by the Fire. Instead, that money would go toward public infrastructure needed to support the project, including street and utility improvements, riverwall work, public open space, and a city-owned parking structure. But a coalition of people who live or work in neighborhoods like Chinatown, Bronzeville, Bridgeport, McKinley Park, Pilsen, they are calling on the Finance Committee to delay their vote today. The group says it wants more time and more transparency before hundreds of millions of public dollars are committed. The coalition says it has concerns about the impact of this development, including traffic, displacement, gentrification, and increased property taxes, as well as the long-term effect on working families and local businesses. We spoke with one of the people calling on alders to stop the vote. Here's what she said.
We're here to ask for the Finance Committee to halt their vote to approve the tax increment financing funding for the 78 development until there's transparency, public engagement, and community benefits guaranteed for the area. We feel like surrounding areas, residents who are most vulnerable to displacement, these are communities with much lower area median income who are vulnerable to, property speculation, rent increases, things like that, have not been listened to at all.
Alders are also expected to consider an agreement tied to that 75-year lease approved back in 2008, which turned over operation of the city's parking meters to a private company in exchange for an upfront payment. That deal, as we know, has faced years of criticism over higher parking costs and payments the city owes when meters are taken out of service for construction, street closures, and events. The proposed agreement would address those outstanding claims. Now, we also know alders are expected to vote on a proposed wrongful conviction settlement. We're talking about a $9 million deal here that would resolve a federal lawsuit involving a man who spent nearly 19 years in prison before his conviction was overturned. Once again, the city's finance committee set to meet here at City Hall at 10 o'clock this morning. Ladies, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much for that update. Say, we appreciate it.
Some shocking news in the political world over the weekend, and lawmakers today across the country are remembering Senator Lindsey Graham.
Jonathan Seri is live in Central South Carolina with the latest for us. Good morning to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, good morning to you. Lindsey Graham was born and raised here in Central South Carolina, a small town very close to Clemson University, but in the middle of upstate South Carolina. His family, his parents ran a bar, restaurant, and pool hall, and they lived in the same building in very tight quarters. They faced various struggles and health problems, but his humble origins and life struggles is something that Lindsey Graham embraced during his many political campaigns. Take a listen.
Some of you have known me since my family lived in the back of the bar in that building. But I'm pretty sure no one here, including me, ever expected to hear me say, I'm Lindsey Graham, and I'm running for President of the United States.
Now, preliminary findings suggest that the senator died from complications of heart disease, as did his father, who suffered a heart attack in 1977, just 15 months after Graham lost his mother to cancer. Graham, who was in his early 20s at the time, stepped in to raise his 13-year-old sister, Darlene. Take a listen.
He never made me feel like a burden. He always made me feel so loved and so secure. Lindsey also made sure I finished high school, went to college. He even legally adopted me.
Senator Graham was initially a sharp critic of President Trump, but he then turned into one of Mr. Trump's most loyal political allies and defenders. Here's what the president had to say reflecting on their relationship.
Now, he had one bad moment, and that was, the January 6th thing when he stood up. All right, now I've had it. That's it. I can't do it anymore. And then he called me like about 40 minutes later, and he said, did I really say that? I can't believe it. And he took it back, so I give him a 99 instead of a 100.
So, Tia and Natalie, there was a paradox in Senator Lindsey Graham. On the one hand, South Carolinians looked at him as the guy who had the president's ear, a very powerful senator. And on the other hand, someone humble enough to return their phone calls regardless of who they were. Back to you.
Oh, gosh, what a nice thing to remember him by. Thank you so much, Jonathan. We appreciate your live report there.
My pleasure.
Localizing this a bit, back here at home, Senator Dick Durbin is remembering the senator as well. He did release a statement, and I want to read that to you, saying that he and his wife send their condolences to the Graham family and adding, quote, Lindsey was part of every important policy issue and an indispensable player in every Senate gang. He was a fierce Republican partisan one day and a key bipartisan ally the next. He knew the DREAM Act was my most important bill, and he was the only Republican who would co-sponsor it for years. I will never forget it. Lindsey Graham was 71 years old.
Well, this morning we're hearing from Senator Mitch McConnell. He released a statement about his health over the weekend. He also released a picture that he posted of himself and his wife. This was at a rehab center holding a copy of Sunday's Washington Post. He said that he fell, which put him in the hospital. Doctors told him that he did not break any bones or have a concussion, but he was unconscious for some time. McConnell also says that he dealt with a mild case of pneumonia. There was a lot of speculation about exactly what happened to him since he has not been seen in public for weeks. McConnell said he will not be back in the Senate yet for votes. He is working closely with legislative staff in the meantime. And we want to go back to that story we were talking about with Father Michael Pfleger. We know he's facing new accusations of sexual abuse. And this is what we know so far. The Archdiocese of Chicago has removed him from St. Sabina Church while an independent review board conducts their investigation. The latest accusations were made by a student who attended St. Sabina School from the years 1993 to 1995. And that's when she says the abuse happened. Father Pfleger has faced sexual abuse allegations before. He was reinstated after investigations showed no evidence to support those claims.
I think it's really outrageous that they keep doing him like this. They keep throwing him under the bus. I don't know why they do it for. I feel like they do it just because they want to stop him, stop the great things that he's doing for the community and the people.
He cares for us. He feeds us. He clothes us. He does everything for the community.
I'm just hurt. I'm hurt. Because he just had a block party, and I'm hurt. Like, we want him back.
He's going to fight, and we're going to win the fight. He has people behind him. Trust me.
Well, Father Pfleger is 77 now and says he is not backing down from the fight.
113 now, or 113? 923.
It's because the prompters are all out of whack. The times are all out of whack. But you know what's not out of whack?
No.
The weather.
No, not that. I was going to do that. I'm Ron Burgundy's question mark. Caitlin.
Mine says it's 110. So.
Okay. Well, one is correct, and it's multiple choice. What do you got for us?
Yeah, right. It is going to be a beautiful day. We have a few clouds out there this morning. But this week, the headline, hot, summer-like. Very sunny each and every day. It is going to be a beautiful one. We'll get into the nitty-gritty as far as what it's going to feel like, the heat index, where that humidity is at this week, and when our next chance for rain is ahead. Keep it right here.
Kitchen nightmares. Close the
27 on your Monday morning. I'm trying to psych myself out, right? And I feel like I'm having the case of the Mondays. Get excited. It's another day, another week for new opportunity as we roll through the weekend. And the weather is going to cooperate. Why are you looking like that? Because I'm trying to be positive.
No, I'm not. I like the idea of a new day for opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
I'm trying.
It's a great way to approach it. Caitlin is here. Beautiful look at the city, Caitlin. What do you got for us?
Why are you laughing, Caitlin?
I think everybody here, hopefully you at home are just like cruising into the work week. I was the same way. Running this morning on the treadmill, I feel like my legs were in mud. What is happening? Maybe it's because it's going to be so nice out that we all just want to be outside and just soak up this week of summer. Well, after work, you can do that because we've got plenty of sunshine this entire week, and it is going to be hot. Right now, we're sitting at 80 degrees. We are going to be climbing very fast today. 78 degrees at O'Hare currently, as well as Midway. 76 in Kankakee and Valpo. 77 at LaSalle. 79 in DeKalb. So the temperatures feel warm already this morning. It's not going to be incredibly muggy, so we have that going for us. But we are expecting temperatures to be pushing into the 90s this week. Our Futurecast does show, again, quickly climbing temperatures, but I stopped it here at 3 p.m. as I always do because this is when we're going to see that peak heating of the day. 94 from O'Hare to the mid-80s at the lakefront, so slightly cooler near the lake. Low 90s, Morris and LaSalle, and then we get into this evening, 8 p.m. You would think by 8 it's going to be cool. No, we're still in the upper 80s and low 90s at 8 p.m. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s at the lakefront at that time. And then tonight, it's going to be quiet. Temperatures dropping down to the 60s and 70s. And tomorrow, another toasty day. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the upper 90s. That's our actual high temperature. But the feel-like temperature could be around 100. So as we head into your Tuesday afternoon and evening, 6 p.m., temperatures are still in the upper 90s, 97 degrees tomorrow. So it is going to be another very hot week. But at least the humidity isn't going to be quite as high as the last time we had a stretch of 90s. But heading into Wednesday, same thing. Starting off 4:15 in the morning and temperatures are ranging in the 70s, climbing to the upper 80s by later in the morning on Wednesday. High temperature of 96, so the upper 90s over the next 2 days. And then back down to 94 degrees. Thursday, Friday, 92, and this weekend, 80s to low 90s. So we are going to have a little bit of a cooling trend as we head into the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Caitlin. And we've got plenty more Good Day Chicago, including concerns about another measles outbreak.
Yeah, very important information that you want to stick around for, especially as kids head back into the classroom. Keep it right here on Good Day Chicago. We'll be right back.
First and North.
Monday morning. Parents need to listen up, but really everyone needs to listen to this. The U.S. is on track for yet another record-breaking year of measles cases, with public health experts saying outbreaks are getting really hard to contain. Meanwhile, a new bipartisan poll is finding support for protecting access to vaccines.
We're going to break down the details here with Candace DeMatteis. She is Vice President of Policy and Advocacy for the Partnership to Fight Infectious Disease. Thanks so much, Candace. You know, I'm all for parents choosing for themselves what they think is best for their families. What is your concern regarding measles and making sure that individuals get the vaccine?
Sure. So measles is one of the most infectious pathogens that we know of. 90% of people who are exposed to measles who are unprotected, so you haven't had it or you're unvaccinated, will get measles. And it is a very serious respiratory virus. Many people end up hospitalized, and it's not just, anyone who's unvaccinated. We hear a lot about children because that's typically when we vaccinate, but anyone who's unvaccinated is vulnerable to measles.
Candace, I want to be honest. A few years ago, I don't feel like we were talking about measles as much as we are now. What's changed and what's making it so hard to contain it?
Sure. So what has changed is the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella, has been around since 1971. So we've had it for a long time. We have a great record of the safety and effectiveness data, but sadly, we have seen our vaccination rates dropped. As I mentioned, measles is so highly infectious that we need vaccination rates at 95% or better to stop the spread. And we have dropped well below that in many parts of the country, which is why we're seeing these outbreaks.
I learned something kind of interesting to me anyway. I did a fertility treatment to have my last child, and my fertility center had me tested for measles antibodies. And even though I received the measles vaccine when I was a child, I had no antibodies. Can you explain how that happens? And is there a subset of people, because I was told by my doctor that oftentimes people who received that initial vaccine in the 80s, it just hasn't held up as well. Is there any truth to that? And what do you tell people?
There are people who are vulnerable. I mean, people's immune systems react differently. So the level of protection you get, and that we recommend 2 doses of the vaccine. Most people, it's 97% effective, but you can get your titers checked just like you did. It's a pretty simple blood test for adults who've been vaccinated but may be concerned that, has it waned over time, or did I get both doses? Any of those questions can be answered by a simple blood test to test your antibody levels to make sure you're protected.
What do you say to those? Because there are people out there, they don't believe in getting vaccinated. They don't want their children vaccinated. What do you tell them when we have an outbreak similar to what we're talking about right now?
Sure. So it's important to keep in mind that, questions are perfectly valid for any medical procedure. You should ask questions if you have questions, and ask them of a trusted source. So we just advise people to talk to your physician. If you have a child and you're concerned about that, talk to your pediatrician. If you don't have a regular physician, talk to a community pharmacist. They also have a background. They give vaccinations. They have good information about vaccines, and get your questions answered. It is important to know, I know people are worried about that, maybe hesitant, maybe they're concerned about the risks associated with vaccines. You also need to look at the risks associated with measles, and with it spreading so rapidly today and across multiple states, you also need to understand the risks of getting measles and what that could mean to you and your health and your family.
Candace, good information. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, before we head to break, let's check the market. You're looking live at the New York Stock Exchange. We actually don't have it, but I can tell you this. What's driving the market this morning? Middle East tensions are back in focus. Technology stocks are pulling the market down, and investors are waiting for key economic data. This week brings major bank earnings and closely watch inflation data. Stay with us right here on Good Day Chicago. Guess what? We'll be right back. back to Good Day Chicago. It is 9:39 on your Monday morning. And you know what? It doesn't matter what time you look at the bean. You can always find somebody out there glaring at it, standing around it, rain, sleet, snow. We've seen it all.
We have. It's going to be a good week, though. And I know a lot of people this summer are doing those DIY projects because, you know, you can leave the garage door open, you can work in the garage. But have you ever thought to yourself, boy, I'd really like to do this, but I don't know if I have the skill set or the tools to do it?
Absolutely. I think that all the time. I'm like, man, I don't want to break a nail. I don't know what I'm doing. We have Tool School co-founder here, Juliana Massey, who is Massey,
you're right.
Massey, who's with us. And you're doing some incredible stuff. You go to the hardware store with folks. You're doing virtual consultations. You're doing workshops.
Yes.
What a clever freaking idea.
Yeah, it was great. I was working with Babe Sports Bar, and there was just always this chatter of need to learn how to do this. We were building out their new patio, putting pergolas up, building banquettes, and everyone was like, can we volunteer with you just so we learn how to do this? And I said yes to a few of them. But then Nora and I, the owner, came up with this kind of idea of turning this into a thing. I have the skills just from, I went to architecture school, I worked as a general contractor. So I might as well turn that into something to share on a more global standpoint, even it's just community. I mean, and it's been
exploded, man.
It's been getting a lot of good feedback.
I mean, it's like Tia said, one of those, why didn't I think of that? So if someone has a DIY project, you will either virtually consult with them.
Yeah.
To talk about what is needed. You can go to the hardware store with them to help them pick out what they need, or you can help them get started on the project. There are like 3 tiers of things you can assist with.
Correct, yes. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 3, I think, is the most beneficial to gain that confidence that people are lacking. The hardest step is actually getting started. So once you get started, I think that's when the project kind of goes from there. And I am teaching people to start low, like we're not redoing a bathroom right off the bat. Let's tile, like you've seen on Instagram everywhere, like tiling those coffee tables and stuff. Learn how to tile first and then implement it and build up to it.
Okay, so I know we have on our little graphic there that it's for women, but I'm sure a lot of, because I think there's an assumption that a lot of men know what they're doing, and some men don't know how to put a screw in the wall.
Correct. So the workshops are mainly for women. Just I feel like a lot of women benefit from having women-only classes.
Yeah.
I have gotten a lot of feedback from the women-only classes that they are able to, I mean, that's more fun, it's more engaging, and they ask questions. All the virtual stuff, like the consultations and stuff, I've definitely taught some of my friends. I'm working with my friend Brad on.
Sorry, Brad, we're calling you out. We're calling you out this morning.
But we're going to replace his garbage disposal. So definitely, there is a lack of knowledge globally. So I'm here to help anyone that wants to learn.
Brad will walk away with all of his fingers intact.
Yes.
Thanks to you, Juliana. Again, the school is called Tool School Co.
I love
and one of the other things that you do, and you just mentioned this, but I want to get into greater detail, are these workshops. And you do auto workshops, and you also do Will It Lamp. And so people can bring items that they want to turn into their own lamp.
Yeah, there's an existing Instagram account called Will It Lamp, and I just they go thrift store shopping, and they just kind of figure out how to make this wooden bowl into like this pennant fixture over your dining room table. So I think it's taking that older stuff and doing something cool with it.
I'm just curious. I know you said you start small, but have you seen anybody that you taught decide that, man, I think I got the hang of this. I'm going big and I'm going home?
Yeah.
Well, have you seen somebody go like to something much bigger?
Yeah. Well, I think I've definitely gotten feedback of people implementing what they learned in their class. And one of the students, she took the drywalling class and then took it to her boyfriend's house and fixed her boyfriend's walls for him.
Wow. They stay together.
I know.
I'm going to tear those walls down if it don't.
Send an invoice otherwise.
I'll always go crazy.
Exactly.
Do you have any ideas of classes that you want to teach in the future? People have been reaching out and saying, like a lot of people say, I really want to do this.
Yes, plumbing's a big one. So changing the shower heads, fix it like a clogged toilet, or even just fixing like the innards of your toilet. That stuff is totally doable by anyone. There's also some skills classes that I want to take or teach. I'm trying to partner up with some oyster shucking people, so to teach people how to shuck oysters and then like saber champagne bottles. I think that's just a fun class to do.
This is all over the map, and I'm loving it.
We're just skills all over the place.
They're giving us the wrap, but real quick, tell me, when did this interest start for you? Were you like 3 years old? And you have the interest of touching and fixing things?
Absolutely. I think I was like staying up overnight making miniature golf courses out of shoe boxes in the middle of the night.
That's incredible.
Big Connects fan.
Anybody that's watching, they want to find you, where can they go?
Toolschoolco.com. Also, Instagram is toolschoolco.
All right, Juliana Massey. Why can't I get it out? Massey. Man, I got to get that coffee in this morning. Stay with us right here on Good Day Chicago. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Tia, this is going to be a great song.
Chicago, it's the All-Star break, and baseball fever is sweeping across the city of Chicago.
Both the White Sox and the Cubs, surprisingly, are both playing really well. Brian Jackson joining us now from Wright Field, and both teams picked up a couple of new additions. Tell us who we got, Brian.
They sure did. Both teams feeling really good about the guys that'll go through the minors for a couple of years before they get up to the bigs. And also the big league teams doing very well this year at the All-Star break. The White Sox are currently tied for first place with Cleveland, and the Cubs, they are currently in second place, 5 games behind the Brewers. I want to get back to some of those new additions, starting with Chicago White Sox. They welcome #1 overall pick Chuck Chalowski to the lineup over the weekend. He is a shortstop out of UCLA, very talented kid. He's joining a lineup that includes All-Star third baseman Miguel Vargas at third base, and also shortstop Colson Montgomery, who one day will be an all-star as well. Rock is going to be a very, very fine addition for this young squad. Got a chance to catch up with him shortly after he drafted, and he said one of the things that's most attractive about joining the Southsiders is that he's joining a team that is already winning.
I'm not going straight to the big leagues. I know that there's a lot of work that, needs to be put in, but, seeing, how well the team at the top's doing and, the moves that they're making, the way that those guys are playing, it's definitely a lot more motivation to, get up there and, join those guys at some point. But, being able to be a part of a contender team, it's pretty cool just because, I value winning a lot, and, seeing what they're doing up there for the first half of the season is pretty special.
Also got a perfect baseball name, Rock Chalowski, right? White Sox, they're heading into the break, tied with Cleveland atop the AL Central standings. Just a fantastic turnaround for a team that was literally one of the worst in baseball the final 2 seasons. Meanwhile, on the north side of the Cubs, they're also planning to play baseball this October. Their first round draft pick this weekend was right-handed pitcher Cade Townsend at number 23 overall. Scouts say that this kid can simply spin it. He's got a fastball in the mid-90s with 4 solid pitches that can consistently get over the plate. Cubs also dealing with a lot of injuries over the first half of this season, but they're heading into the All-Star break with a chance to catch the Brewers.
If you're looking at a second half of Bregman being Bregman, on top of everything else that this lineup is capable of doing, with some of the pitchers that'll be coming back, and I think they can still catch the Brewers. I think the Brewers are showing some chinks in the armor, whether it is Jacob Misiorowski taking a start off to ward off fatigue, or whether it's Brandon Woodruff and an injury resurgence there, or just their batters showing you the lack of power that they have. I think the Brewers are catchable.
So both the White Sox and the Cubs looking good here at the All-Star break. Both teams looking to make the baseball postseason for the first time in the same season since going back to 2020. They are definitely on the right path. As for the All-Star game in the Midsummer Classic, got a couple of guys from the Cubs. PCA will be playing for the Cubs. Also, a couple of outings from the White Sox will be playing in the Midsummer Classic tomorrow evening. A game you can watch right here on Fox Chicago. They'll be playing in Philadelphia. First pitch of that one is at 7 p.m. Reporting live this morning outside of Wright Field, I'm Brian Jackson for Fox Chicago.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. Well, this latest batch of information out of this world. We're talking about the government releasing a whole new batch of UFO files. And some of these files, Liz, go all the way back to the 1940s?
Exactly. So some of them go back to the 1940s, and then some of them are a little bit more recent, 2015, 2019, 2020. We're showing you some of those images right now, and you might be rolling your eyes going, okay, UFOs, whatever. However, in some of these, it gets a little interesting, where one military aviator said their witnessing of this, one of these accounts, they said they've never seen anything like it in their 28 years in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about, so however you feel about UFOs, you have to admit, it piques interest, right?
It does.
So basically the backstory on this is they've been releasing these files slowly but surely since about May. This is the 4th installment of these UFO files. So we're talking the latest batch. This is 14 documents, 19 videos, 4 audio files, 3 images. Really not that much stuff if you are really keen to go through all of it. And the U.S. government specifically is putting these out because they're saying, like, hey, these are unresolved cases. Like, we don't even know what some of this stuff is. It's from the Pentagon, NASA, the CIA, the FBI. And you at home, you might be saying, I haven't seen these, so what is in them? Well, okay, so it's mostly a mix of unredacted documents. And as you mentioned, they start in the 1940s. They go up to the 2000s. One of them that's notable is from 2015. This was Amarillo, Texas, where they saw something hovering over a nuclear weapons facility.
Which to me screams foreign adversary.
I knew you would say that.
It does. Not necessarily aliens. And that's what I would immediately, yes, it's a UFO. We don't know what it is.
Right.
But I'm thinking like Russia or North Korea involved here.
And I actually thought you'd say that. And so I did a Google because I thought, like, why are we not saying, like, are these foreign adversaries?
Right.
Apparently, the Pentagon is claiming that these are not foreign adversaries. They just don't know what it is. They say there's something about the maneuvers and the flight dynamics and the technology that just doesn't scream foreign adversary, which I was
not
surprised
human.
about also. So not human.
Yeah.
So I think they're, leaving some of these documents, they're releasing them to the public, hoping that, the internet sleuths can figure it out. But we were joking, I think in the world we're living in now, in the in this economy, I think people are not. This is not as whimsical as it used to be. I think people are going, not right now. Like, we've got enough to worry about here. So, I was just even on Reddit. I popped on Reddit to see what people are saying about it, and people are not convinced. They're going, we don't need this right now. Someone else said maybe this is space junk. We've got space junk flying from, satellites flying from the skies, and they're going, we don't want to deal with that. I don't want some piece of space junk, falling on my house. If that's what people are just, it sounds like people
skeptical.
Are skeptical.
So we can expect the Bigfoot report when then?
Exactly.
Next week?
Exactly.
Okay.
But what's next is, they really want to figure out more into this. So they're establishing a panel. They're trying to establish a panel of experts to look into this, and also to find out if there is a national security risk attached to this. But there are still a lot of questions surrounding it, and not too many documents to go through right now if you'd like to check it out.
Well, that panel that you mentioned, Avi Loeb is on that panel, and in fact, he's going to be on Chicago Live today at 3 o'clock. He knows everything UFO, everything alien. He's a Harvard phenom is what I will call him.
I think that's going to be a really interesting
conversation. It will be, yeah.
He's always
I want to dig more into this, because I've been waiting for the planet where all the men look like, Brad Pitt or Cole Komet. There's a planet out there, I'm sure.
You've been walking me down that road.
Wouldn't that be nice? But also, people always assume, we see in movies too, people always assume that aliens are, coming here to, torment us. Maybe they're not.
I don't know. They're giving us the rap,
music.
Liz.
That means the rap.
We'll be right back. We don't want to talk about this anymore.
Let's talk some World Cup news. The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, says the organization will discuss expanding the men's tournament to 64 teams, and that expansion could take place by the year 2030. That is going to be the next World Cup. Tournament already expanded this year to 48 teams. That was up, Tia, from 32, where it had been since 1998. After exciting matches, runs, and upsets from teams like Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, and Norway. Infantino says every nation should be able to dream about participating in the World Cup.
Well, this is probably one of the most intense video that you will see all week. I'm sure you've seen it all over social media. It's really scary, too. This is the moment that it all happened at Yellowstone National Park. The video was shared on social media showing a bison becoming agitated, then charging right towards a park visitor and tossing him right in the air.
That
the
is
visitor was seriously injured.
unbelievable.
I know, and was with his grandson, who was not hurt. It was unbelievable because, you know, obviously everyone on the internet always has a comment, always has something to say. And people were like, well, he was too close, which, you know, that's up for debate. But according to the people at the park, they say he was at a fairly decent distance where you're supposed to be to a wild animal. But apparently that bison wasn't having a great day. No, that's what they said. They said that, you know, that it was agitated. It was aggravated for whatever reason. And it charged at that man. But that's scary.
That video will play through our mind the whole day.
Yeah,
really
he's
will.
seriously hurt, but is expected to make a recovery. So I don't know. After looking at that, I would think that it would have been more severe, but that's just crazy. I think you just look at a distance from now on. Don't even try to get the picture.
Don't even get out of the vehicle.
Yeah,
I'm
just
like,
stay in the car, stay away. Okay, that's the best advice here. We're being moms this morning. Our next hour of Good Day Chicago is coming your way next. Stay with us.
Interact, need a
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Good Day Chicago.
Thanks for joining us here on Good Day Chicago. I am Natalie Bumpke.
And I'm Tia Ewing. Here are some of the headlines that we are following for you this morning.
First up, Chicago City Council's Finance Committee has some big items on the agenda today. One is the Chicago parking meter deal. Say has the latest for us in just a moment.
We are learning more about the death of Senator Lindsey Graham. The medical examiner released a preliminary cause of death as an aorta rupture stemming from hardening arteries. We're asking a cardiologist what that means. Coming up right here on Good Day Chicago.
And Father Michael Pfleger facing sexual abuse allegations. The St. Sabina priest missed Sunday Mass yesterday as these new accusations were raised against him. He is denying the allegation. He says he is not backing down from this fight. We're going to have more details for you in just a moment.
But first, this is really a disturbing and heartbreaking story this morning. A body was found inside of a garbage can in the back of the Yards neighborhood.
Brittany Toulis live right now with more on the investigation. Brittany?
Hey guys, investigators are not sharing a lot of information right now. An autopsy is pending though, and investigators will be able to tell how this woman died and if anyone else had a hand in it. Now there is also an extremely graphic video circulating online of this woman being found. A state senator who knows who this person is pleading with the public to stop sharing it and wants that video taken down. Now this woman's remains were found tragically in a garbage can Saturday evening around 6:30. It was in the back of the Yards neighborhood near 54th and Emerald. Right now, who she is and how she died is unknown according to investigators. Chicago Police and the Cook County Medical Examiner hoping to answer those questions. An autopsy is planned. Once that happens, investigators will learn how she died and if anyone else was involved. Now, State Senator Lakeisha Collins is sharing the woman's identity, saying her name is Zenobia Witherspoon, or Z. Senator Collins saying Z even babysat for her. Now, that senator is also bringing up a graphic video circulating of D's remains being found, saying, quote, "In this moment of profound grief, I am pleading with the public to stop sharing the video of Zenobia on social media. Please show respect and compassion to her family while they navigate this unimaginable pain. And if you see the video, please report it and take it down. No family should have to witness their loved one's final moments circulating online." Zenobia's death highlights a terrifying and rapidly rising crisis, the escalating numbers of missing and murdered women, not just in Chicago, but across the state of Illinois and our nation. Now, that statement also ends with the senator calling for the creation of an alert system for vulnerable women or domestic violence survivors, akin to an Amber Alert or Silver Alert. Now, right now, Chicago police are calling this a death investigation, but guys, that could also change once these autopsy results do come in.
And we know you'll be on top of it as always. Brittany Toulis, thank you so much for that report. Our hearts go out to that family.
Absolutely. Oh. Aldermen getting ready for what's expected to be another busy day at City Hall.
Yeah, several ordinances are going to be considered here. Saquon is live at City Hall with what we can expect. Say.
Hey, good morning, ladies. The city's finance committee is in session here at City Hall right now, and they're taking up a pretty packed agenda, including a pretty big development project that's already drawing some pushback from community groups right now. We're talking about the 78 development just along the south branch of the Chicago River there. After years of delays, the 62-acre project is moving forward with the Chicago Fire's new stadium expected to help kind of drive that development. Alders will consider 2 TIF agreements totaling more than $424 million. That money would not fund the stadium itself because the stadium would be privately funded by the fire. Instead, that money would go toward public infrastructure needed to support the project, including street and utility improvements, riverwall work, public open space, and a city-owned parking structure. But a coalition of people who live or work in neighborhoods like Chinatown, Bronzeville, Bridgeport, McKinley Park, and Pilsen, they have been calling on the Finance Committee to delay their vote. In fact, they just wrapped up a press conference from an hour ago, but the group is saying that it wants more time and more transparency before hundreds of millions of public dollars go towards this project. The coalition says it has concerns about the impact of the development, including traffic, displacement, gentrification, and increased property taxes, as well as the long-term effect on working families and local businesses. We spoke with one of the people calling on alders to stop the vote. Here's what she said.
These are communities of color, traditional communities of immigrants. So these are hubs for communities who speak languages other than English to receive services like healthcare, workforce development, education, things like that. And we believe that these communities that are particularly vulnerable should be protected by the city, as well as we're demanding the developers and the Chicago Fire to come to the table and negotiate for community benefits agreement.
Alders are also expected to consider an agreement tied to that 75-year lease approved back in 2008, which turned over operation of the city's parking meters to a private company in exchange for an upfront payment. That deal has faced years of criticism over higher parking costs and payments the city owes when meters are taken out of service for construction, street closures, and events. The proposed agreement would address those outstanding claims. Now, Alders are also expected to vote on a proposed wrongful conviction settlement. The $9 million deal, if approved, would resolve a federal lawsuit involving a man who spent nearly 19 years in prison before his conviction was overturned. Once again, the Finance Committee is in session now. We'll, of course, track that for you and bring you the latest right here on Fox Chicago. Guys.
All right, Say, thank you so much for that report. I noticed a lot of people behind Say in their best summer gear.
Yes, because it's getting hot out there.
Real hot.
A couple of us, not me, but Tia and I know Liz went to the Taste of Chicago over the weekend, and yesterday was really warm.
I've got a question.
Yes,
okay,
go
on the
for
prompter, it says toss to Caitlin, and it has, are those hearts there?
Yes.
Who put those hearts there?
They love you.
Goodness,
Everyone does.
Nice. Oh, thanks, Harry. I can't. Okay, talk about the weather. Yeah, it's going to be very hot this week. So we are settling into the perfect summer week. So maybe you could take the week off of work. Just take the week off, go soak in the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Don't give Tia the inclination.
I'll take you up on that offer.
You have to. I feel like it's just going by so fast. All right, so talking about the temps. Right now, it's 85 degrees. We have a few clouds out there, which have been streaming in this morning. We have a northwest breeze around 5 to 10 miles per hour. But these 80s are turning over to the 90s today. And not only today, but this whole week. Here's the satellite radar. So there's nothing on the radar, but you can see those clouds that have been streaming in, as mentioned this morning. But sunshine is going to be dominating our forecast. Right now, we're in the upper 70s from Aurora to Joliet to Kankakee at 78, 77 at LaSalle. But the low 80s from the lakefront to Gary. We're going to have a little bit of a cooler temp near the lake because of that breeze. Here's your day planner. 92 degrees by 1, by 3, 94. So 1 in the afternoon, lunchtime hour. We're already in the low 90s. So it's going to be hot by midday on. 3-day forecast. Tomorrow, how about 97? Upper 90s expected Tuesday and Wednesday, and the humidity is actually going to be on the rise as well. So it's going to feel a bit more muggy. Today, it's not going to be incredibly muggy, but tomorrow, that 97 is going to feel closer to 100 or 101. So it is going to be another week where there are going to be heat concerns. We're going to remind you of all of the things. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink those electrolytes, take breaks, check in on your loved ones, because it is going to be in the 90s this week. But by the weekend, that's when the 80s are going to return, and also the chance for rain will be back. I'll show you that on your full 70 forecast ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. And just in time, we are talking about the most effective sunscreens coming your way next.
Do you know the #1 reason?
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. We are taking a look at what is going to be another warm day. And so that had us thinking about sunscreen. Yes, we are in the middle of the summer, but never too late because you're probably almost out and you need another tube. So let's talk about what is best for kids.
Yes, board-certified dermatologist Dr. Lauren Fine is here to help us find the safest and most effective sunscreens. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us this morning.
Well, thanks for having me. This is a really important topic.
Okay, so let's start out with the basics because I know sometimes you have conversations with people and they believe that they do not need sunscreen every single day. Can you address that? Do we need to wear sunscreen every day?
Well, I think the answer to that is yes. So definitely on your sun-exposed areas like your face in the sunny months like we are in now, putting on a daily product that has an SPF in the 30 to 50 range is a great habit to get into. It's so easy to find facial moisturizers, facial skincare that are meant to be used every day. They don't feel like sunscreen. They don't look like sunscreen, and they kind of just feel like, you know, your morning routine, like your morning moisturizer. So I think that's a good habit no matter what age you are, even starting, you know, in your 20s, always leaving the house with sunscreen on. And obviously when you're out and more exposed and at the pool or beach, putting sunscreen on all affected exposed areas and reapplying your sunscreen as well.
Let's talk about what is inside that sunscreen. If the adult mineral sunscreen contains zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, it's fragrance-free as well. Is it safe for children to use that on them?
That's a great question. And I would say the answer is mostly yes. So both the American Academy of Pediatrics and American Academy of Dermatology don't recommend sun exposure for infants age 0 to 6 months. So best recommendation is just keep in the shade, sun protective clothing. And then for babies age 6 to 12 months, a mineral sunscreen, which in this country meaning zinc or titanium dioxide ingredient, is recommended as the safest option for baby skin. And so zinc and titanium dioxide are considered mineral sunscreen or physical sunscreen ingredients. They literally, they sit on the skin and act as a barrier. They don't have to be absorbed by the skin in order to become active.
Okay.
Are there any, being that you're, you know, a dermatologist here, and there's all kinds of skin types, right? Like, for example, I deal with eczema. My daughter deals with a little bit of eczema. Are there situations where you would suggest not using a chemical sunscreen, avoiding chemicals in your sunscreen altogether?
Another great question. So yes, so someone like yourself, someone that has eczema-prone skin or maybe sensitive skin, is often I do recommend looking for a mineral-only sunscreen. So chemical ingredients, and there are many different ones in this country, sometimes can be a little bit more irritating than the mineral ingredients. Many people have experienced you're out outside sweating, and you know if it gets in your eyes, sometimes it can cause burning and stinging in the eyes. So if you're outside sweating or exercising outdoors, I usually avoid chemical sunscreens for the face due to sweat. But yes, if you have skin conditions like eczema that make you more sensitive or your skin more easily dried out or irritated, the fragrance-free mineral sunscreens, I think, are the best option for sure.
Can I say this too? I learned we went on vacation and my hair turned pink from my sunscreen, and I realized that actually that 100% mineral formula is the best, especially if you have lighter colored hair. So I was like, oh, this is something new. So I ordered a bunch of it on Amazon. Besides choosing the right SPF and the right formula, what are the most common mistakes, Dr. Fine, that parents typically make when they're selecting a sunscreen for their children?
Well, I think, hey, it's not easy getting sunscreen on a child, especially when they're, under 5 years old. That's where I think sometimes the sunscreen sticks that look like either deodorant sticks or just like a little round stick make application easier. And those are often the mineral or zinc formulation. So I stick for like the face or smaller areas. I also love sun protective clothing. I cannot stress enough how just getting, swimwear, long sleeve swimwear, or keeping covered hoodies sometimes is easier than putting sunscreen on every 90 minutes or reapplying when you're already hot or sweaty. So don't forget about sun protective clothing. And yeah, when you're hot, when you're outdoors, when you're frequently getting wet, sunscreen should be reapplied about every every 90 minutes to 2 hours. No sunscreen is going to be effective if you put it on in the morning and you're out all day. It does need to be reapplied, even the highest numbers. So one mistake people make is thinking, oh, they're using like an SPF 100. That means, they're covered all day. That is not how SPF numbers work. So most board certified dermatologists recommend sunscreen in really look for the SPF 30 to 50 range. Anything above 50 doesn't probably offer a whole lot more protection.
I want to go back to something you said, Dr. Fine, because I'm always kind of like at the crossroads. Do I get the spray for my kid because it's quick, spray them down real quick? Or do I get something where, I have to, have a little more time to apply it? Does it matter?
Another great question. So yeah, sprays can be a lot more convenient than, rubbing in a goopy cream. I do think it's a lot easier to miss, not maybe get a full application if you're using a spray versus a cream. I tell everyone if you are going to use a spray, you should do a very slow stream where you actually see it on the skin, and you should still rub it in like a cream. I don't know if you've ever seen anyone on a windy day at the beach, they're doing their spray and it's going everywhere but their skin. That's not how we want sunscreen to be applied. So you got to rub it in, you got to see it, you got to rub it in, and you still have to reapply every couple hours.
All right, Dr. Fine, great advice. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Stay cool.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. You too.
Bye.
Yeah, well, Caitlin, one thing we know for sure, we need that sunscreen today.
Yeah, it's
this week.
This whole week? Absolutely, day after day. And you are going to be sweating that stuff off because it is going to be hot. Right now, we have a few clouds out there in Chicagoland, but sunshine is definitely dominating our forecast today. Temperature is pushing into the 90s, not only today, but through this week. And the chance for rain is holding off until this weekend. I'll show you that with your full forecast ahead.
Join.
Chicago, we're learning more about the sudden passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. The medical examiner releasing his preliminary cause of death, an aorta rupture caused by hardening arteries.
Okay, so what does that mean? I mean, he's 71 years old, and this was unexpected. So we called on one of our experts from Northwestern Medicine. Dr. Quentin Youmans is a heart failure and heart transplant specialist. He is here to weigh in. Quentin, when you first heard this, or doctor, I should say, Dr. Youmans, when you first heard this diagnosis, what are your initial thoughts?
Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, we know that heart disease is very common. And one of the things I want to impart to folks is that heart disease, thankfully, can be prevented if we think about the lifestyle and the medications that can prevent it. But unfortunately, generally, an aortic rupture can occur after an aortic dissection. So just so everyone's aware, the aorta is the main blood vessel that supplies blood to the entire body. And that blood vessel is made up of walls. And sometimes that wall can get a little tear in it, which the blood then goes through that false lumen and unfortunately causes chest pain, generally classically described as ripping towards the back, and unfortunately can carry a very high mortality.
So would a person that experiences what you just said there, would they know it? Would they feel this prior to it becoming this severe?
Absolutely. So one of the things about medicine and specifically about cardiology is that chest pain can be a very common complaint. And so you never want to ignore the chest pain if you do have chest pain. You want to seek care immediately. But we know that chest pain can, for example, be caused by a heart attack. Chest pain can, for example, be caused by blood clots in the lungs. We call them pulmonary emboli. And so there are so many things that can cause chest pain, generally a lot of them being very dangerous and deleterious. So we really want to have patients really seek care if they do have chest pain first. And then it's up to the clinicians to do the appropriate workup to identify things like an aortic dissection.
Doctor, we do know that a 911 call was made from Senator Graham's home, and it was frantic. So doctors were called in. How much time do you typically have once you start feeling that chest pain, and can you still survive something like this?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things about an aortic dissection is that it is truly one of the things that is an emergency within medicine. So every moment, every second counts. So I'd recommend that if folks have particularly this really bad chest pain that radiates to the back, calling 911 immediately. The other thing we know about aortic dissection is that is generally a surgical emergency, particularly if it's the type A dissection that involves the ascending part of the aorta. So lives can be saved, and thankfully at Northwestern Medicine, we have this great resource called the Code Aorta, which gets patients pretty much immediately into the OR, but every second counts. So calling immediately when you feel it, and then hopefully getting to care immediately, you have the best chance for survival.
Dr. Youmans, I have a two-part question. My first part is what is exactly hardening of the arteries? And then secondly, you mentioned that tear in the aorta, that valve that goes to the heart. Can that then be replaced? Is there a surgery that would then replace, you know, if there is a rupture or tear in that particular, I guess, vein, so to speak?
Absolutely. So I'll talk about the first question first, which is the hardening of the arteries. Many of us may hear this, and it very classically means the plaque that can develop in the arteries that supply the heart and in the rest of the arteries that are in the body. That plaque is generally led to or leads up from hypertension or high blood pressure. Diabetes can contribute, and definitely cholesterol. So one of the keys is that patients, hopefully, and folks who are listening should know their numbers. Know what your blood pressure is, know what your cholesterol is, know whether or not you have diabetes. And then if you do, seeking care to hopefully, treat those conditions. The second piece is really important, and that is, so there's the heart, there's the left ventricle, then there is a valve in between the heart and the aorta, and then there's the aorta, which is the blood vessel. So you mentioned something that's very, very important in this conversation, and that is that some patients who have a bicuspid aortic valve can be at increased risk for aortic aneurysms, which is dilation of the aorta, and aortic dissection as well. So knowing if you have a bicuspid aortic valve can be very helpful in preventing something like a dissection. And then ultimately, if a person ultimately does have a dissection, it's really important to seek care because the surgeons then can do surgery to tack up that wall of the valve back up surgically.
Got it.
We talked about, the importance of living a healthy lifestyle to prevent this. What should we avoid? It's important to talk to your doctor, get your regular physical, find out if you have an issue with your arteries. But beyond that, what can you do day to day? What should you avoid?
Absolutely. So I think about it in two buckets. So we'll talk about the things that you want to avoid first, and that is smoking is number one. Smoking, we know, causes hardening of the arteries in addition to lung disease, heart disease, cancers. It's pretty much the hardest thing that you can do for your health. So there are resources that can help with smoking cessation, but that's probably number one. The next thing is knowing your numbers. So if you have high blood pressure, for example, treating the blood pressure. If you have high cholesterol, treating the cholesterol. Knowing your weight. So, jumping on the scale, knowing what your weight is and trying to manage that weight, particularly if you're overweight or obese, that can be really helpful in heart disease. The other thing I like to think about is what are the things that you can do? What are the things that you should do more of to optimize your heart health? And there are a few there too. So exercise can be really important. And so trying to get physically active most days of the week. And you can start small. It doesn't have to be something that you're going to the gym 30 minutes every day, but just start small and work up from there can be really important. We're recognizing increasingly that sleep is very important. So getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep and then optimizing nutrition as much as we can. Gearing towards plant-based foods can be very helpful for heart disease and heart health.
Dr. Youmans, you said this a few times now. I think maybe 3 times I counted. You said knowing your numbers. Someone out there may not know their numbers. How can they find out? Is this a situation where you get a full blood panel to find out your numbers?
Absolutely. So, oftentimes there can be community health screenings as well. So you don't have to even necessarily go to your doctor, but I would recommend that everyone have a primary care physician or primary care clinician, and they can help check your numbers. So the things that they'll be checking for are monitoring your blood pressure on a regular basis, monitoring your blood work. The blood work is really helpful because it can assess your electrolytes. And then another key component that we haven't mentioned is kidney disease as well. Many patients have chronic kidney disease and it is asymptomatic until it causes a real issue. But knowing that you have kidney disease helps us be able to treat it as well.
Dr. Youmans, thank you. Such great information. You really broke that down in a way that we can all understand.
Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for continuing this really important conversation.
All right, thank you. We'll have you on next time when we have something else, I'm sure, in our health to talk about. Thank you for your time. We want to go over to Caitlin, who's tracking all things weather and forecast for us. Caitlin, it is heating up. Time to pull out that swimsuit.
Oh, yeah. Girl, get it out, keep it out.
I was going to say birthday suit, but that wouldn't be.
No. Oh, yeah. No, just keep your bathing suit
What kind of show is this, Tia?
Hanging on the shower, because you're going to want to wear it every day this week. It is going to be phenomenal. A little toasty, though. So especially for the next couple of days, make sure you check on your loved ones that don't have air conditioning, because we're talking about highs pushing into the upper 90s. The good news is it's not going to be incredibly humid, a touch more muggy tomorrow. So that upper 90-degree temperature is going to feel like we could be around 100 or 101 for your Tuesday. But today even, we're pushing into the 90s. This morning, we have a few clouds out there. You can see they've been pushing in from Lake Michigan now all the way down to LaSalle County, Grundy County, Will County, Kankakee, Southern Cook County. You've got some clouds, but today we are going to be dominated by sunshine. High pressure is in control. Right now, it's 82 degrees at the lakefront as well as in Gary. It's 79 in Chicago Heights and Kankakee, 82 at LaSalle and DeKalb. So we are already feeling warm. But we're getting hot by midday. In the next couple of hours, we're going to see the 90s. And this is 3 p.m. this afternoon. Temperatures ranging in the mid-90s, 94 degrees at O'Hare and Midway expected. But notice just slightly cooler near the lake in the 80s. Low 90s for our southwestern counties. Okay, you get the point. It's going to be a quiet day today. Sunny skies, temperatures in the mid-90s. Now, tonight, it's not going to be much cooler. Notice by 5:45 tomorrow morning, we're already in the mid and upper 70s. And then in the afternoon, that's when temperatures will be back to the upper 90s. And that's when it's going to feel like we could be around 100 degrees. So by 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, you want to be near the lake, because that's where we're going to be in the mid-80s. The rest of us still strong in the 90s. It's going to be hot on through the evening, 8:15 even, holding on to the low 90s tomorrow evening. Now, the pattern is going to continue. This whole week is going to be quiet. We've got sun expected each day, and those toasty temps, as I mentioned, the upper 90s tomorrow, as well as on Wednesday. Thursday, the mid-90s. Friday, the low 90s. So this whole week is going to be hot, sunny 90s. This weekend, that's when the pattern starts to break down. So Saturday, right around 90 degrees, and then a chance for rain is back on Sunday with a high of 85. So slightly cooler, but still above normal. As we talk about this afternoon, though, it is going to be a pleasant one if you're going to be out and about, really soaking in that summertime shy this whole week. We've got it. Back to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. And more of Good Day Chicago will be right here when we come back.
In life.
Here's a live look at downtown Chicago, 10:35 on your Monday morning.
And if you're traveling through O'Hare International this summer, you might notice a major upgrade to one of its most iconic walkways, Terminal 3's famous Home Alone Hall, or the Hall of Flags. Remember, the families running through the airport there. It has transformed into Flag Feast.
Yes, this massive traveling installation features work from 36 local Chicago artists, showcasing everything from reinterpreted city flags to Chicago icons like the classic Chicago-style hot dog. And joining us now to talk about this is Christine Pundavella, Projects Administrator for the Chicago Department of Aviation. Good morning to you, Christine.
Hi, great to be here. Good morning.
Good morning. So let's talk about this. The Hall of Flags in Terminal 3 is already such an iconic and nostalgic stretch for travelers. Why was this specific location chosen for the Flag Feast installation?
Well, we were working with the Design Museum of Chicago, and that was their top choice. It's so iconic, and so we made it happen with them.
So this was a portion of this was displayed for folks who went out to Taste of Chicago. They would have seen some of these, and these were all designed by local artists. Is that correct? And then you're also giving people an opportunity to have their own artwork displayed there at the airport.
Yes, exactly right. 36 artists, all inspired by Chicago. Those artists, they range from illustrators, graphic designers, muralists, graffiti artists, and they were inspired by the city. So you'll see different elements incorporated into those flags, from the skyline to our lakefront, our neighborhoods, even our sports teams and our iconic food. So it's a great exhibit and installation that you'll be able to see this summer. And yes, it's very timely because this summer we'll also be working with the Chicago Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. We'll be doing a big call for artists to commission artwork for ORD Next, which is the biggest terminal expansion in O'Hare's history. And so with the new gates that are coming as part of the new Concourse D, there'll also be a lot of new passenger amenities, such as public art.
Talking about that public art and having a permanent place for it, how do temporary exhibits like this Flag Feast set the stage for the public art that will be permanently part of O'Hare's future?
Well, we are always rotating our public art and temporary art displays. And we work with lots of different organizations, from youth groups such as After School Matters to other organizations such as the Field Museum, who's loaned the Big Dinosaur. We have the Terminal 1 B and C tunnel, Sky's the Limit, sometimes called the Disco Tunnel or the Tunnel of Light. So lots of public art is already in our airports, and this new rotating art installation is just the newest addition for the summer.
If you want to submit your artwork for the ORD Next program, how can you do that? And do you have to be an artist by trade, or could someone like Tia and I come up with something that we want displayed?
Well, there will be a request for qualifications. And so we do want professional artists, both from Chicago as well as across the nation, to apply. We'll be releasing that request for qualifications this summer. So you should certainly follow our airport channels as well as the Chicago Department of Cultural Affairs.
Christine, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but when I think about Chicago and I think about public art, whether it's permanent or temporary, I feel like we have some of the most, like in certain spaces for sure, compared to other cities, like, for example, at the airport. Is that true that Chicago has kind of like put their stamp on this to have more of this public art in places that are visible than some of the other major cities?
Absolutely. It's been a real focus. Just recently with the expansion of O'Hare's Terminal 5, we installed over 20 different art installations from local Chicago artists. And so that was a large commission that really invested in our Chicago creative community. And so you'll see that all across both airports, certainly from buildings like our rental car facility, which has major pieces by artists such as Nick Cave and Hank Willis Thomas, to rotating exhibits that you'll see, for example, at Midway. We have a Chicago White Sox mural that just went up as well.
Focusing more in on that ORD Next program, what can people expect? When is that going to be done? And then I say, what can people expect, like as far as like bars and restaurants and maybe things for the kids to do?
Oh, absolutely. Passenger experience is a top priority for us. And as you see currently at O'Hare and Midway, we have a lot of local restaurants and brand names, as well as shops. And so you can expect the same thing when we open these new facilities. Lots of modern new gate spaces, hold areas, and restaurants and shops and artwork lounges, all the amenities that travelers are come to expect.
It's dangerous, though, Natalie, because sometimes you feel like you're at a mall when you have those layovers, and the next thing you know, the money's just flying out the wallet.
Well, unless you have free kid spaces, because I will say Sacramento's airport has a wonderful free children's space, and I think either O'Hare or Midway has a small one as well, because I was there not too long ago. Are you going to have more of that kind of stuff that's free for families who are waiting around for their flight?
Oh, absolutely. We do have children's play areas at both airports. It's part of the design for all of the new gate spaces and concourse spaces that we're building. So we'll continue to have kids play areas. We have spaces such as sensory rooms. We have giveaways such as coloring books for children. And so the art is just one element of that. So you can enjoy your time here at the airport while you're traveling.
Good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Christine Pondavella, thank you so much for coming on Good Day Chicago with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it is 10:41. We'll be right back.
On your Monday morning as you watch Good Day Chicago, looking at the beautiful skyline and the beautiful sky that is going to be sunny today because we know it's going to be a warm day. Caitlin Cody will have much more on your forecast, but first we got to talk about this. Apple is suing OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. It's accusing OpenAI of a pattern of theft to steal trade secrets for its new AI hardware. This lawsuit names two former Apple engineers, including OpenAI's new hardware chief. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman responded to the suit on X saying, quote, "I am not afraid of Apple, but I have tremendous respect for them." And that was the quote.
And the SAG-AFTRA union is warning people about Meta's new Muse image model. Now, I know this is SAG-AFTRA, this is like the Actors Guild, but this impacts everybody. It says anyone can use a simple prompt to generate an AI image of your likeness just by tagging a public account. So think of your social media accounts. They're demanding that tech platforms respect creators' rights and require clear, documented consent before using anyone's image or voice.
Yeah, there's also a way that you can turn off some of this stuff on your different social media platforms. So just Google it and make sure that you turn it off. Well, the Department of Justice subpoenas a group of New York Times journalists to share their sources on a report. It revealed security concerns with President Trump's new Qatar-gifted Air Force One Boeing jet. The subpoenas order this reporters to testify before a federal grand jury, this happening on Wednesday. In the report, the journalists claimed the newly retrofitted $400 million jet lacked advanced security similar to the older Air Force One model. The alleged security risk forced President Trump to abandon the newer jet for the older model when he flew out of Turkey just last week.
The administration on that is saying that no, the newer model was going to fly on so that troops could tour it at an airbase, but still, you know, there is speculation.
Right. Makes sense.
All right, 10:46 now, and Caitlin is standing by once again with the check of the forecast. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a great start. It's going to be a wonderful week. We've got sunny and warm temperatures expected not only today, but for the whole week. Now, talking about our current conditions, it's 85 degrees outside, and that's why you got to get outside now, because if we're at 85, guess what? Highs today pushing into the 90s, and we're going to be warming up fast. By lunchtime, we could be in the low 90s. We have a breeze coming in at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's not going to be incredibly muggy today, but that humidity is going to be ticking up over the next couple of days along with the temperatures. So right now, we're seeing a range of the 70s and 80s. It is 83 at the lakefront, 82 in Gary, and 85 at O'Hare. Upper 70s from Midway to Joliet to Aurora, 82 there at LaSalle, and 81 in Kankakee. Here's your next 48 hours. So highs today in the mid-90s. It's going to be beautiful. We have a few clouds out there now, but a clearing trend is going to give us sunshine for the majority of the day. And then tonight, temperatures are bottoming out in the mid-70s. So very mild tonight into early tomorrow. But tomorrow's highs will be back to the upper 90s, and I do expect that 97 to feel like 100 or 101. And then again on Wednesday, the upper 90s will be here. But something that is consistent, high pressure. If I get this clock going, you can hardly tell because high pressure isn't moving. This whole week is going to be quiet, sunny, hot. And then this weekend is when that pattern starts to break down. Temperatures are going to be a touch cooler, still going to be warm. And then we have the potential for rain, especially for the second half of your weekend. There's your 7-day outlook. Back to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Calling all sour candy fans. It's one of my favorite things. Next weekend, Oak Park Candy Shop, Candycopia is looking to make history on National Sour Candy Day. They're trying to set an official Guinness World Record, and they need your help to do it.
Yeah, they're using us too. Joining us from the store to give us all the sweet and sour details is the co-owner of Candycopia, Patrick Mason. Good morning to you, Patrick.
Hi, guys. How are you doing? Are you ready to do this?
Oh, I'm terrified, Patrick.
I'm
not gonna lie.
I am so excited. So, Patrick, tell us first how people can get involved in this Guinness World Record.
Yeah, so it's this Saturday. They can go to our website, candycopia.com. We're looking to get as many people as possible to set a Guinness World Record for the world's largest sour candy tasting. And so we've had about 500, almost 600 people sign up. We're all gathering here in Oak Park, part of the Explore Oak Park and Beyond destination. And we're hoping we can set that record with a little help on Saturday.
So is it the amount of people, or is it also the amount of candies you'll be tasting that makes it the Guinness World Record?
It's a really good question. So Guinness actually doesn't like to do just eating one thing and setting records that way. So in our store, we do a lot of candy experiences. We do a sour candy challenge every year, which we're going to kick off this Saturday as well. And I think Caitlin's even done our Fear Factor challenge where she ate a sour pickle ball that nearly ended her. But we really like to create memories and create experiences with candy. And so the Guinness record is going to be a sour candy tasting. So we're going to do 3 different candies out at the event, guide them in one by one, and the final candy is going to be the world's sourest candy.
Oof. We have it here. Tia and I are going to try it. Is it free to enter? And then I also understand that you have like a pucker face contest, which we're going to see if we can get that out of Tia. I'm going to give you the...
Which one are you giving me?
I'm going to give you the sissy sour candy. Because it's
all right.
Tia Ewing, folks, first.
Start small. Start small. I think it's a good
Okay,
strategy.
what is the name of this one, Patrick?
This is
the purple.
That's the Banumi. Okay, so you have 6
Smells
candies
good.
there that are part of our in-store sour candy challenge. That's a candy from Japan that's an intense blueberry coating.
warming
So
it
that
up
one's
on
going to
the
give you a
tongue
little
first.
pucker. Yeah,
Tia, come on.
there you go.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So-
no.
That wasn't even the worst one.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still a step to go.
Oh my God. No. Mm-mm. Oh,
Hard no.
Tell
no,
us,
Patrick.
tell us, Patrick, what
How
is...
long you got to keep that in your mouth to make it in the Guinness World Record?
You got to try. So you've
seriously.
satisfied that requirement. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
No,
I'm
it's
done.
just.
So that would be enough.
Well, that would be one of 3. So you've got 2 more, and one of them, like I said, is the world's largest or world's most.
Okay,
sour
I'm going
candy.
to try that one.
This for fun.
I'm going to do that one
Yeah.
right now.
Who does this for fun?
Patrick,
Yeah.
what is in this that makes it super sour?
So these candy makers use a combination of citric acid and malic acid. They're both natural sour components, but the malic acid is brutal. It's almost a feeling and an intensity more than a flavor.
I'm starting to get
but yeah.
sweaty. Okay, I'm going to try this. This is the Mega Sour. Is this the most sour one here, Patrick?
That's a Barnett Mega Sour. It's from the UK. It is what we consider the world's sourest candy. Yeah. Wow. Here we go.
I like it.
This is good.
All
After you
right,
get
good
past the
job.
sour.
What is this saying about me? Is there something wrong with me, Patrick?
You're
You need
built
water.
different.
Let me taste that. But Patrick, I do want to point out the fact that this is good once you get past the sour part. There's
Yes.
candy.
Yeah. So we've actually
It
developed
lasts, though.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
It
gonna
does
go
kind
for
of ramp up a little bit. So sour candy is one of the most popular things we sell. The ones that you're trying are from different countries that we've gone out.
I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm sorry. Oh my God, no. Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Tia, come on.
Oh my God.
All right, let the man answer
I'm sorry,
while you get a
Patrick. I
drink
was
of
trying not to
water.
say anything.
I apologize for her behavior, Patrick.
No,
We should have
see,
just done this.
it's a memorable
Oh, my
experience. That's what we're going for right here.
Okay, finish your response, please.
I was just saying, we sell a ton of sour candy. We ship it to all 50 states. We search for all the different candies from around the world. Those are from the UK, the Barnett Mega Sours. But we put together a proprietary sour scale so people that are shopping either on our website or in our store know what they're getting into. So it's a 4-level scale. It starts with tangy, which is more sweet than sour. It goes to tart, which is a little more sour than sweet. It goes to toxic, which starts to create like a little bit of a discomfort. And then you guys guys had terrifying, which there's only like 3 candies in the world that have reached that level of sour. And it is, it's meant to disrupt your taste buds and just overwhelm your mouth.
I got to get to Northwestern.
I feel like
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I feel like I need to enter a competition now.
I don't know how you would
How
have
am
something
I
like
not
this.
as affected by this as you?
I
You
don't
can
know.
do it.
Your tongue must be thicker. Patrick, in all seriousness though,
Yeah.
how do you get everyone to do it at the same time? Is somebody like your gatekeeper for like, okay, now we're going through the first one?
So we are actually flying in a Guinness judge to oversee everything. We have a soccer field here at Oak Park that we reserved. We're going to enter in 100 people at a time, go to tables, and then I'm going to lead the tasting where I'll instruct everyone to eat all at once. And so what we're really excited to capture is 600 people maybe in this field, all eating that sour Barnett Mega Sour at once, and just the reaction in mass is going to be
I love
something
this.
something
This
to
is
see.
such a fun competition. Caitlin's going to try the super sour one now.
I don't know how you did
Patrick, the one that was like the worst for me when we did that. What was that one? The competition one, the gross stuff.
Yeah,
it was
that
the
was-
salty black licorice. That was the
Oh, the
grossest. The worst one. All right, should I try the red one or the purple one?
They're all the same.
They are the same.
And there's
Yeah, they're
orange.
different flavors, same intensity. Yeah. So this
It
will be
doesn't even
a
smell
little.
good.
Taste it.
I put the whole
Caitlin, it
thing in
won't-
my
it won't
mouth.
turn
No
your
one
mouth
else is
green.
doing
It like
that.
burned.
Okay, I'll do it, but give me the box.
You definitely gonna eat the box, baby.
Last time I made a mess. All right, hold on.
I feel bad.
No way.
And
There you
are
go.
you
There you go.
Tia's
There
a
you
win.
go.
Are you well?
Oh my gosh, Tia,
There's no way.
here, take one of these Swedish candies. I don't think they're sour.
Here's the thing, you guys.
Those are really good.
Oh,
Those,
you put
the
it in your
Swedish
mouth, that's
bugs.
Good, you'll like
If you
those.
don't move your
Move it around your
saliva
tongue.
around, you can't really taste it. It's not that bad.
My
It's
tongue
pretty
let
good.
me know it was there right away.
Wait,
I
what
mean-
was the
Yeah.
most popular? Didn't we have like the most popular candy in the world
Yeah,
here?
the Bubs I think that you're opening right
Yeah,
now
that's
is
what
the
Tia
green and
had.
yellow
Trying to get
llamas.
it open, I
Do you
need
want me to
some
help
help.
you? I don't
Help
have
a sister
nails.
out. I'm down for the count.
Well,
This is why I don't have
this is
nails,
so
you guys.
exciting. So tell
Here
us
we go.
again where people need to go, and they have to sign up ahead of time, right?
Yeah, we need to register ahead of time. You'll go to candycopia.com, look for information there. It'll give you instructions on what to expect, and we're starting to gather forces and get ready to march out there on Saturday.
And is there a limit? Like, do people need to sign up right away, or do they have some time?
The more we know, the better. We might max out if people continue to sign up the way they have, which would be a great compliment and something that's super exciting. But yeah, to have that accurate head count is really important. And then, so honestly, PSA, like, it's going to be a busy time. So taking the L out to Oak Park, if you're in the area walking or riding bikes, is going to be important for us.
Do you need to sign a waiver?
No waivers. No waivers required.
It's not that bad, you guys.
All right,
this
is really good.
Where is this candy from?
Yeah.
This is good. It's like bubblegum.
Yeah, it's a tutti frutti sour rhombus from a company called Bubs. We import those from Sweden, and Bubs are like one of the world's most most popular candies right now. We have a whole pick and mix bar of Bubs and other Swedish candy, and it's what people travel from out of state to come visit in our store.
Whoa,
this has been such a delight.
Yum.
I think I've always loved sour candy. I will eat it to the point where my taste buds get all weird.
Yep.
You like it over chocolate?
Like gummies over chocolate? I like, dill pickle flavored potato chips, and I'm a glutton for punishment.
This is really, really good.
Yeah,
I love
those. The texture of that
That's why it's so popular, Tia.
Thank you so much.
A little bubble gum.
Oh, one more time. Where is your candy shop located in conjunction to the event?
Thanks for asking. So our main store is in Oak Park. We just opened our second store in Elmhurst in April, and but it's walking distance from Oak Park. From our store in Oak Park. It's called Ridgeland Commons here in Oak Park.
All right.
Real quick, Patrick, though, it's not all sour candy, right? You got all kinds of candy there.
Oh my gosh, it's really our life mission to make sure everyone walks in here and finds something they enjoy, whether you've got a dietary restriction or an allergy. So we've got retro candies, we've got chocolates.
Careful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody else from our crew just joined. Come on, sit down.
Don't you, Terrence?
What do you think? It's not that bad, right? Once you got a lot of saliva around.
You gotta be
spit
crazy.
it out. You can spit it out.
That's what I said.
But it's good.
A lot of saliva. It's good. It's good.
Tia, you're the odd man out on this one. I'm sorry.
I know. I got saliva running down my fingers.
Terrence has a whole 2 hour show to do. We'll see.
That was nasty.
All right, Patrick. Thank you so much. Best of luck with the competition.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for coming.
All right, we've got more Good Day Chicago coming up next.
I like those ones. Those gummies.